sitting at 14-11, and at the 9th position in the Eastern Conference, the Atlanta Hawks are faced with a rare opportunity with a 5-day break where they can sit down, regroup, and restructure what they plan on doing, of course, in Trae Young's absence and when he potentially returns to the lineup and to the Atlanta Hawks court, because I do believe this will unlock the Atlanta Hawks. I do believe that this 5-day break for the Atlanta Hawks will regroup these guys, get them back on track, and hopefully get them above the number 7 position, which of course lands them in the Atlanta Hawks Invitational, or as we all know it as the play-in round of the playoffs. Now, of course, no, the season doesn't end today. It's plenty of basketball left. We're only 24 games in this season, but I still want to make a note of it that the Atlanta Hawks definitely started off kind of iffy, made a very good push, and then of course fell back a little bit as well. So the Eastern Conference, though, most people looked at it as going to be a complete wash, with Boston being out of the mix and other teams that Indiana being out of the mix. You dig what I'm saying? And multiple changes happening. We definitely looked at it as an opportunity for the Hawks to rise up to the number 1 position. But as we look at the standings right now, it does not look as if we predicted it. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Trae Young's potential return to the lineup, his potential return to the Atlanta Hawks hardwood. I'm also going to talk about a coaching change that was made by Coach Quinn Snyder, how that affects the Atlanta Hawks and how that affects that Hawks player as well. And, of course, we're going to talk about the next 10-game stretch and how the Atlanta Hawks are going to size up versus the competition. But before we go into any of that, what's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard, and this is Atlanta Hawks Digest. I do appreciate you all for coming in and joining with me. This is awesome, and I do appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and just jump right into it really quickly. To the 2,902 of you guys, hey, we're less than 100 subscribers away from 3,000. I do appreciate you guys daily. I appreciate every one of you guys that hit the subscribe button. Definitely do so. And send this to as many people as you like. Send it to anybody that, you might even just be talking about Hawks in the barbershop. You dig what I'm saying? You might be talking with somebody at the lunch counter or something like that. Tell these guys about Hawks Digest and where they can get all the information. And of course, to the 60% of you that have not subscribed, just letting you know, we do see you guys. We do know that you are watching and listening to what myself and Chris Tipmore have to talk about. Go ahead and finish the drill. Hit the subscribe button, because there's so much more that we could talk about. There's so much more that we got going on over here at Hawks Digest. So I do appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Trae Young's return. Now, of course, I told you on the 14th, Trae Young is going to be reevaluated for his potential return for the Atlanta Hawks hardwood. You dig what I'm saying? Coming back to the lineup. Of course, earlier this season, he did suffer a major knee injury that sidelined him for a good amount of, about a few weeks. Not a few weeks, about a month or so. So, of course, him being sidelined definitely put the Atlanta Hawks in a tough position where they had to move some things around. I know in the beginning of the season, guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker was expected to be coming off of the bench, but because Trae Young was injured, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was thrusted to the starting lineup multiple nights. He was put into that starting lineup, and he has definitely done an awesome job in that. He's definitely shown himself to be a very formidable player at the starting lineup. We can also talk about Jalen Johnson taking on multiple roles, and you dig what I'm saying, at his specific position, how he's had to show himself, how he's had to become that player that the Atlanta Hawks need in order to be basically a successful team. The Atlanta Hawks were able to go on a decent run. I think they won about a 4 or 5 game win streak before losing a few, losses. I want to say about a 3-game losing streak. I know to the last 3-game losing streak, it was to the Nuggets. I think it was to the Pistons, and I forgot the other team. But again, the Atlanta Hawks have had a series of runs, if you will. Right now, I want to say right now the Atlanta Hawks are about 4-1 in their division. They're 5 games out of first place in the Eastern Conference. So it's really close, okay, between the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, which is the Detroit Pistons, and the number 9 team, the Atlanta Hawks. It's only a 5.5 game separation between those guys. So again, things could change, things can happen. A lot of movement can happen. I want to say that the Hawks were as close as the number 5 team in the Eastern Conference, and now they're the number 9 team. So a lot of things can happen. So if you're looking at the standings right now, don't get worried, don't get dismayed, don't pay too much attention to that, because of course that can definitely play on your psyche and have you thinking that all hope is lost. But again, going back to Trae Young's potential return, again, Trae Young coming back to the lineup is going to be a major deal for the Atlanta Hawks, because again, we've seen how Nickeil Alexander-Walker has stepped up. We've seen how Jalen Johnson has stepped up. We've seen how Dyson Daniels, Vit Krejci even, and Onyeka Okongwu, all of these players have found a way to step up in the absence of Trae Young, and they have definitely helped the Atlanta Hawks move forward. Now, don't get me twisted. Trae Young is still the glue that keeps this team together, because there have been many games where if Trae Young were available, I do believe the Hawks would have been able to have closed it out. Case in point, the game versus the Denver Nuggets, the Atlanta Hawks definitely had a chance to get back into the game late and win the game late, but unfortunately, certain decisions didn't necessarily pan out in the Hawks' way. And I do believe if Trae Young were present, I do believe that things would have possibly turned out different for the Atlanta Hawks. So that's just how I feel in regards to Trae Young's return. I don't have a specific date as to when they're going to bring him back. Again, on the 14th, he will be reevaluated by Hawks trainers. They'll be looking at him to see if he's able to come back to the hardwood, and the Hawks definitely need it. Again, being at the number 9 position in the Eastern Conference, it would be great to have him back in that major way. Now, going into the coaching change that Coach Quinn Snyder made for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, we all saw Friday night versus the Denver Nuggets, Kristaps Porzingis being taken out. Well, not even taken out, but he was placed on the second team, if you will, or benched. I don't like using the word benched because it just has such a negative connotation to it. But Coach Quinn Snyder definitely made a move that I believe makes so much sense. Now, earlier in the season, actually before the season, I had pointed out how I believe Kristaps Porzingis will be in the starting lineup, which he was, and that Onyeka Okongwu will be coming off of the bench, which he was. And now it just seems like those two things have been flipped on its head. Not because I was wrong, of course. I have nothing. I have no, I have no weight in the equation. My word doesn't carry on to their ears all the time. But my point is that this has definitely changed due to the often absence of Kristaps Porzingis, of course, due to his sickness and different injuries that he's sustained over the years before getting to the Atlanta Hawks, and of course the long-lasting effects of that. Kristaps Porzingis hasn't necessarily been in the lineup quite often, or hasn't been available that often. So, of course, Onyeka Okongwu had to step up and be the starting center or starting, he's the guy for the Atlanta Hawks. And he has stepped up in a major way. His shooting percentage behind the arc has definitely went crazy this season so far. And so Coach Quinn Snyder made a conscious decision to say, you know what, we're going to keep it the same. We're going to keep Onyeka Okongwu on the floor as a starting center. We're going to put Kristaps Porzingis on the bench. He's going to come off of the bench, and it has paid dividends for the Atlanta Hawks. Kristaps Porzingis last Friday dropped 25 points and 2 rebounds and 2 blocks against the Denver Nuggets. And again, I even pointed out how the Atlanta Hawks played well in that game, though it was in a losing effort. There were a lot of good things to talk about and a lot of good things to springboard off of. And that was one of the major things, is that, of course, Kristaps Porzingis producing 25 points, 2 blocks, and 2 rebounds off of the bench, that definitely shows that going forward, definitely some things will change, and this could actually be better for the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, this could actually show that there could be a different change in things. You could have Kristaps Porzingis in a bunch or a package with V. Krejci and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You dig what I'm saying? Nickeil Alexander-Walker does a very good job defensively and also offensively, moving without the ball and controlling the ball as well. You also have V. Krejci, that is a spot-up shooter who can definitely hit it from downtown. And I do feel as though you put those two guys along with Kristaps Porzingis on a second team, on a coming off of the bench, or as a different transition to, let's say, give Trae Young some time off, or give Jalen Johnson some time off of the court. I do believe that could actually make some major difference for the Atlanta Hawks going forward down the stretch, especially this first half of the season. And then, of course, finally going down the final stretch of the next stretch, my apologies, but the next stretch for the Atlanta Hawks, we see on the 12th, this Friday, we have Detroit in Detroit. After that, coming back home to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. And just going overall this next stretch, you got Charlotte, San Antonio, the Bulls twice on the 21st and the 23rd. You got Miami, New York, Oklahoma City, and Minnesota. Nickeil Alexander-Walker will be able to take on his former team. And in this 10-game stretch, again, it would be interesting to see these changes that we see. We could possibly see Trae Young returning in either one of these games. We can also see how this changed with Kristaps Porzingis coming off the bench. We can see how that plays an effect on the Atlanta Hawks team, and how this could actually pan out for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm really interested into seeing how these things play into each other, how things can fit, and how the Atlanta Hawks can definitely move forward this season. Because again, going into the trade deadline, I'm definitely interested in seeing what trade proposals will be coming to the Atlanta Hawks, and how the Atlanta Hawks will adjust or even entertain what could possibly be happening. Because again, this is going to be an awesome season. This is a longer season. I had someone tell me that the basketball season is a very long stretch. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So yes, of course, the Hawks might have lost 2 or 3 games here or there. That does not mean all hope is lost. Yes, the Atlanta Hawks are in the 9th position in the Eastern Conference. No, all hope is not lost. Things can definitely make a change. Things can definitely take a turn, and I am here for it, and I'm excited to see how things pan out. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest, and I'm signing out. Peace.